clumsy mistakes. She was a scientist, and scientists aren't careless, so her cause of death felt out of character, unlikely, and suspicious somehow. I knew it wasn't the way she was supposed to die. My 5th-grade guidance counselor would tell me that those feelings were part of denial, which she called a normal stage of grief. But as the months passed, I couldn't let it go. I knew there was something we were missing, something unexplained. I think a lot about the charred rabbit cake, how that was another clumsy mistake. Mom apologized later that night when she tucked me in. She said it tasted much worse than she thought it would. I have another birthday next year, I reassured her, and the full moon is next week. That's my girl, Mom said, tough as a boiled owl. Mom, you know no one eats owls, I reminded her. There are 4 species of owls commonly found in Alabama, and sometimes Mom and I would get up before dawn to go look for barred owls. Most people think that owls mean wisdom, but I read that the Romans thought owls were evil, that they drank the blood of babies. In ancient Rome, they would have called the burnt cake a bad omen, and maybe the Romans would have seen it all coming. What would happen to my mom, and then what would happen later to my sister Lizzie. The disasters in store for us. Part 1. Months 1 to 6. Chapter 1. August. It was August when Mom's body finally showed up, caught in the dam at Goat Rock, 12 miles from home. She had floated across the state border to Georgia, so Dad had to fill out extra paperwork to bring her back to Freedom, the town where we live in Alabama. I wonder sometimes how many miles Mom swam before she drowned. She could hold her breath underwater for a long time. She was an excellent swimmer in her sleep. We'd already known Mom was dead, of course. We'd felt it for most of the summer. We felt it from the moment we found her swim goggles on the bank of the Chattahoochee River at the beach down the road from our house, the place where Mom swam. There had been flooding that June, the river running fast and lathered up. At the police station, 2 officers took Dad away first to ask him questions, just to be sure he hadn't killed Mom and dumped her in the river. It didn't occur to Lizzie or me then that we might be suspects. It was 2 years ago. I'm 12 now, but I was still only 10 then. Lizzie was 15, and most people thought she was too pretty to hurt anyone, unless you knew her well enough to know better. The police officer already knew Lizzie. "Aren't you sad?" the cop asked, handing my dry-eyed sister a Kleenex. "We knew," Lizzie shrugged. "How did you know?" He jabbed his finger at Lizzie, almost touching her nose. "She's our mother," Lizzie said, her hands on her hips. "If your mom was dead, wouldn't you know?" I guess that was good enough, because they let us go and ruled Mom's death an accident. "Not much of an investigation," I muttered, but Dad shushed me up. It didn't feel like a case closed, no matter what the Freedom Police Department said. I combed our house for a clue. "She was a sleep swimmer. She drowned." Dad tried to reason with me as I rummaged through his bedside table again. "What else is there to know?" There was a lot left to know. I wondered what my mother's dreams were about the night she drowned. Did she wake up when the river water filled her lungs, or was she still asleep when she died? Did she dream in color, or did the water look black as tar? After we left the police station, we drove to the coroner, where Mom was being kept. Dad went back into the morgue, leaving Lizzie and me in the waiting room. He came out a few minutes later, dabbing his eyes, and told us he'd have to go fill out more forms before we could leave. As soon as he was out of sight, my sister pulled me down the hall by the hand. She said we needed to move quickly if we were going to see Mom. There were signs everywhere that said no food and no photography, but Lizzie was snapping photos with her cell phone anyway, with the hand that wasn't holding mine. Lizzie and I had never held hands before, at least not as far back as I could remember. We weren't those type of sisters. All Lizzie ever wanted to do was sneak out of the house and drink cans of beer with her friends. I'd also overheard her talking on the phone about eating mushrooms in the woods, and I wondered how Lizzie knew which ones